What's going on, guys? I'm that clone guy E, and this is Simply Put Sense. And on this channel, we talk about some of the best and worst fragrances on the market today. My goal, as always, to help you smell your best without smelling ordinary or common. Because in my opinion, smelling nice is boring. Smelling memorable is the goal. So I wanted to talk to you all about a topic. I've been showing a bunch of fragrances a lot lately, and I kind of got away from the fragrance talk vibe that I kind of started the channel with. That I started doing my lives. The theme of my lives was fragrance talk. So I want to get back to that a little bit. And today's topic is how the algorithms of the social media, I guess you could say, the social media platforms that we actually enjoy and look to for a lot of our information about fragrances, how influencers on these platforms are they're basically catering to the algorithm and not to us, the audience. And I wanted to talk to you all about this because I find that increasingly there are some amazing brands that are constantly being overlooked and ignored. And I tried to understand, like, what is happening? Why is this going on? Why are we not why are influencers not talking about brands you need to know about? Not that you already know about. I feel like every time I go on TikTok and Facebook, the same people are talking about the same brands. And this is not a knock. This is kind of like what I feel like a lot of influencers are kind of forced into doing for their own best interest. But sometimes the influencer's best interest is not the viewer's best interest. And I'm noticing more and more and more that it's the same old topics, the same old brands talked about by the same old influencers. And I wanted to get into this and dissect why. And I honestly blame the algorithms, guys. The bottom line and the basic reason is the algorithm. The algorithms on these social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, basically they all funnel viewers to focus on the same old, same old. So influencers who want to get, I guess you could say, eyes on them, they're not incentivized to talk about perfumes that you need to know about. And in my opinion, that defeats the purpose of an influencer. Because if you're an influencer and you're just talking about the same things that I'm already aware of, you're not really influencing, you're reminding. You're reminding me, but you're not influencing me. You're not putting me on. You're just telling me what I already know in a different way. And I find that to be a little disappointing. And I wanted to get into why that is. And I'm going to show you proof as to my focus and why that is the case. So before I get into that, guys, I wanted to talk to you all about my fragrance of the day, the scent that I've been wearing today, my scent of the day. And that is a brand that I've been talking about a lot lately. This brand is called Maison d'Eau, and the fragrance that I've been wearing today is called Canaan or Canaan. And Canaan, guys, is an insane take on tuberose. Tuberose is usually a floral that a lot of men kind of like veer away from. But I love a really good tuberose, and this is not a good tuberose. This is an excellent tuberose. Why haven't you heard about this perfume? Let's get into why. So, this is a fragrance that, in my opinion, we all need to know exists, and most of us don't. Most of us never even heard of the brand Maison d'Eau. Of course, if you are a regular on my channel, you've heard about this fragrance because I probably discussed this brand in about 4 or 5 videos, live videos that I've released over the last year. But most people, first of all, most people don't even know I'm doing lives. Most people don't even know I'm back on YouTube, which is a funny situation. Most people don't even know I'm doing my thing again. But definitely most people don't know about this fragrance. And if you're a fragrance lover, that's criminal to me. That's disappointing to me. And I got to a point of like saying, what's going on with these influencers? And then I started to recognize it's really not the influencers' fault. It's the algorithm, guys. These platform algorithms do a disservice to us as fragrance lovers, and I'm going to show you how. So, really quickly, I hope you're all doing well. What's going on, Rob? Good to see you, my man. Oh boy, that's awesome. See, I love this comment. You and Sebastian need to collaborate. He's constantly turning people into new houses. He doesn't give a F about the same old, same old. And I agree. Sebastian, he does a service to us. And he's gotten to a place of growth where he's finally recognized, well, not finally, but he's recognized that he doesn't have to placate to the algorithm because he has a huge audience. The only thing, though, is when he talks about these new brands, you're going to notice that the videos where he's talking about those brands gets far less views than when he talks about the brands you and I and everyone in the world are already aware of. And that's the problem, and that's literally the problem with these algorithms. One of the reasons why my channel doesn't have 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, and kind of a lot of that is my fault. Because during the pandemic, when everyone was doing content and there was like a ton of eyes basically just available to watch anything and everything people put out, I was writing a book and I kind of became kind of reclusive, you know. I was going through a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, you know, people I knew passed away. And instead of like being front forward on the camera, I kind of like took a back role and I wrote my book, which was, I'm still working on getting published. But I accomplished an amazing accomplishment during that time. But during that time, I could have been doing both. I could have been writing my book and doing fragrance content. I literally had nothing but time. But I didn't do that, you know, and honestly, my channel suffered as a result. But it really suffered even long before that event because of the fact that I had a dedication to doing videos that I think you needed to know, as opposed to doing videos that I knew would improve my channel and make my channel a lot more noticeable to the public. And to be honest with you, I should have been doing a little bit of both. And I tried to. I tried to talk about the fragrances you already know about, the Bleu de Chanel. I never did a video about Baccarat Rouge. I never did a video about compliments in my entire fragrance career. I never did a top 10 compliments video because I find those type of videos corny. But those are the videos that get you the most views and get you the most eyes on your product, on your videos, and I did not do that. But it's all good, you know, because I have a dedication, I have a commitment to focusing on perfumes that people need to know about rather than fragrances people already wear and are constantly being discussed. So yeah, Canon, my scent of the day, a fragrance you need to know about. It's very hard to find that brand, Maison Detto, which is probably also a part of the reason why a lot of influencers don't talk about it. They don't have access to it. That's also part of the issue with this. So it's not always the influencer. There's a lot of, I guess you could say, factors that basically dictate why we don't see what we don't see on these platforms. So I wanted to show you something. So as you already know, guys, I've been really into Maison Detto lately. It's a brand that I've been focusing on a lot more over the last couple of months because I'm really appreciating their commitment to quality, the commitment to uniqueness, the commitment to creating fragrances that aren't just filling a trendy box. You know, they're not checking boxes of trends. They're offering options that I think the public needs to consider, and they're not trying to placate you. They're not trying to make fragrances with pink juices for women. They're not, you know, making the same old, like, I guess you could say, Axe body spray fragrances for men. You know, they're completely doing something totally different, and they should be rewarded, in my opinion, for that level of commitment because they're making amazing perfumes. And so recently I really got onto them, and I've been noticing that no one else is talking about this brand, and I'm kind of blown away by that. So I wanted to show you something, guys. If you were to go, and I'm gonna show you, let's go on TikTok. I want you to see something. Let's start with TikTok. So if you were to go on TikTok, and I'm gonna share my screen. If you were to go on TikTok, you're gonna notice a ton. Oh, before I do, okay. If you go to TikTok, you're gonna notice a ton of reviews about various fragrances that we all know and talk about. But I want you to notice something. I just searched Maison Detto. And if you go through these fragrance videos, you're gonna notice you're gonna notice very few people doing multiple videos about Maison Detto. And you're gonna see that they're not the top influencers on TikTok. They're not the people who get the most views on TikTok. And I'm just scrolling, just to give you an idea of how, look at this one. This is not even talking about, this isn't even about Maison Detto. This is about, this is about Maison Margiela, you know, and yeah. So this gives you an idea. Look at how I had to scroll down all like 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows. And even in the 6th row, now we're talking about other things. You know, we're not talking about Maison Detto anymore after we get 7, 8, 9, 10. And here we are. This brand, here we are. We're talking about Dior here. We're talking about makeup. We're talking about Oh, this one is about Maison Detto. And this is again Margiela. So look at the amount of content made about my Maison Detto. None. This brand is 5 years old, guys. A 5-year-old brand. 5 years old. And yet, where's the videos? Where are they? They're nowhere. Let's go into YouTube, guys. So if you were to go to YouTube, and this is even more striking, to be honest with you, this is kind of depressing. If you go to YouTube, look at this. My video that I did 2 weeks ago comes up first. Well, actually, I put it as far as like, actually, that's unfair because I filtered these videos by date. So of course mine would be first because I did it 2 weeks ago. But I want you to notice something. You're gonna see as we scroll down, you're gonna notice Maison Detto is getting less. Their videos that are basically, these are shorts. Look at this, no more results. No more results, guys. It's really disappointing. The video that was done by Maison Detto 3 years ago by the channel The Nose of Dallas, like that's criminal, guys. Look at this. One page is all you find about Maison Detto. Now, if you were to go to, let's say, now just to give you an idea in reference, let's look up Parfum de Marly, right? If I were to show you, if I basically filtered these by fragrance videos that were recently launched, look at this. A video about Parfum de Marly was literally just released 8 hours ago. Before that, 15 hours. 1 day ago. 1 day ago. Look at all of these videos that include Parfum de Marly. They're literally non-stop. Non-stop. You can keep going and keep going. I can keep scrolling. Look at this, guys. It's insane. Parfum de Marly, Parfum de Marly, Parfum de Marly, Parfum de Marly. This is the reason why you constantly see the same old, same old. Because at the end of the day, the algorithms are only focusing on what people are searching for. So if Parfum de Marly, which has a really, really high advertising and marketing budget, can basically promote their fragrance line to the level they're able to, they're going to get a lot more attention because of the algorithm. So it's really, really, really disappointing how that happens. And it's something that I've noticed for not just Maison Detto. Let me give you another example. There's an amazing line called Fueja. I mean, there's so many different, I think it's Fueja. So Fueja, an Argentinian house, one of my favorite niche houses that creates quality perfumes that use very novel, interesting ingredients that you don't smell all over the place. They have their own aesthetic, their own vibe. The brand is amazing. Yes, they're uber niche. Yes, they are expensive, but so is Parfum de Marly. So is Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and yet videos explode about those lines. But if you were to go check out, let's say TikTok videos about Fueja, and I'll just point that out also, look at what happens. Look at what happens. I'll scroll down, and you're gonna notice less and less videos actually focusing on Fueja. Let's see, here we are. So Fueja is another brand that's been around forever and a long, long time. They've been they're everywhere. And the further you go down, you're gonna notice that they're we're already in 2021, 2022, and you're not seeing a ton of videos about these brands. As we go, look at this, as I go further down, now all of a sudden it becomes even more obscure. And, you know, none of these are the top influencers on TikTok at all. These are great influence. These are fragrance enthusiasts that are discussing fragrances, but these aren't like your main. Look at this dude. This dude right here, the Noel Thomas. This guy right here, very, very popular. But he's not talking about Fuea. He's talking about Alexandria. So that's my issue. And then now, if we were to go and check out, let's say, Parfum de Marley on TikTok, check this out. Parfum de Marley. If we check out Parfum de Marley videos, look at this. 400,000 views. This gentleman just literally put out a video recently. What's your favorite PDM? 400,000 views, 500,000 views from her, 351,000 views from this person talking about Parfum de Marley. And if we scroll down, you're gonna notice some really, really heavy hitting fragrance influencers discussing this brand. Are they getting free bottles? Some of them. Are they being paid to talk about this brand? Some of them. But the bottom line though is brands that are basically popular, that get a lot of attention, that have a huge budget for advertising and marketing, the algorithms love them. And that's the issue that I'm seeing. And that's the reason why amazing brands get hidden. I can scroll and keep scrolling, and it's just like Parfum de Marley non-stop. And it's kind of deep, you know? It's absolutely deep. Now, if I were to type Maison d'Eau again, it's disappointing. Look at this. The lack of focus. The top video for Maison d'Eau, I think, received 319,000 views. And she's a very, very popular, Scout Dixon is a popular influencer. But this is the issue, guys. So when you're sometimes wondering, why is it that we always see the same old fragrances? Why is it that we always are talking? Why is it that influencers are constantly inundating us, constantly just putting out the same content, no matter who they are? That's the reason why. Because the algorithm basically rewards them for talking about Parfum de Marley and the popular brands with views and with attention. And then they penalize influencers who are talking about brands that are a little bit more obscure because no one notices when those videos and that content gets released. I just put out an Instagram post about Maison d'Eau through my Bergdorf, I guess you could say my Bergdorf account on Instagram. And the content is, it's gonna be basically ignored, you know? But that doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, there's a benefit to this. The benefit of brands that are obscure, that don't get the attention they deserve on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, the benefit is the consumer. If you are someone who knows about these lines, if you watch my channel, for instance, you're gonna know more and more about brands that you should know about, not brands that benefit me to talk about, you know? And the more I do that, I feel like it's okay, it's good, but the fact that a lot of people aren't talking about these brands, there's a benefit to it. The benefit is if you did like fragrances from these lines and you wore them, you're not gonna smell like anyone in the room. When I wear Kanan, there's no one that smells like me. This doesn't smell like Kernel Flower. This doesn't smell like every tuberose fragrance you've ever smelled. This doesn't smell like Bloom by Gucci. This smells very, very niche, very easy to love, beautiful. It's disappointing. It's really, really disappointing. But it also gives us the opportunity to stand out in that crowded room of people wearing Parfum de Marley, Dior Sauvage, you know, and Delina, for instance, you know. And again, I don't want to come across like I'm crapping on Parfum de Marley. I find that brand worthy. They are an on-ramp to the niche world of fragrance. You come from Sephora and Macy's, you graduate to Parfum de Marly, you graduate to BDK, you graduate to brands like Parfum de Marly, BDK, what else? Maison Francis Kurkdjian, Killian to an extent. Angel Share is a beautiful on-ramp to niche fragrances. So Byredo, you know, so brands like this are important because honestly, if they didn't exist, most people would not be able to understand niche fragrance. Most people wouldn't be able to get it. So you need brands that offer like an on-ramp onto something bigger and better, in my opinion, which is niche perfumery. In my opinion, niche perfumery is absolutely better than designer fragrances by a lot. You know, I was a designer fiend for years and years and years. I mean, I still love designer fragrances, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well, but they don't compete. They just don't compete with niche fragrances. The quality does not play around when it comes to niche. Now, of course, there are a lot of niche brands that kind of are like high-end designer at the end of the day, but again, these are important for the world of fragrance because they need to expand their audience. And I think that's also important. Like I mentioned, like these are brands that are on ramps to fragrance, like to niche perfumery. You need those brands, but you also need brands like Maison Detto. You need brands like Fuegia. You need brands like the House of Beau. You need brands like Eau Sauveur, like Saint Rose, like Fuegia. Did I say Fuegia already? Veronique Gabai. You know, there's a ton of brands that, in my opinion, they just deserve your love, guys. And I will keep focusing on these lines, regardless if it hurts or helps my channel. Some fragrances are just for the people who know about them and no one else. And that exclusivity is a great thing. You know, that exclusivity, it's a double-edged sword, you know. One part is like, damn, no one knows about this, but the other part is, damn, no one smells like me, you know. So there's that, you know, but it's just something that I'm noticing over and over and over again, and I just kind of feel like that's sad. And yeah, so I'm curious, guys, what have you been smelling that you feel like you'd like to see more people talking about? What fragrances are really making a major impact on you these days that other people kind of don't pay attention to? I'm really, really curious. Let's start influencing, I guess, influences, you know? Mention in their comment section, talk to them about brands that they should talk about, and let's see if we can, I guess you could say, influence the influences per se. Oh boy. You know who used to always talk about fragrances that we didn't know about, especially us in America? Jeremy Fragrance. Jeremy Fragrance, many, many years ago. I know he's always talking about the same old, like he's been talking about like, he's been talking about Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage and Aventus for the last 10 years. Over and over and over and over and over again. And probably he's one of the reasons why the algorithm is so finicky in the way it is, you know, because he's kind of like, his channel is kind of like the sun. His accounts on social media is literally the sun that a lot of other smaller influence accounts kind of like revolve around. And so he kind of dictates what a lot of us notice and don't notice. And so that's part of it. But many, many years ago, Jeremy Fragrance was talking about Absolute Aphrodisiac by Initio. No one for years could smell that fragrance in the United States because Initio for years wasn't available here. And he was talking about it. He talked about Loewe 001 Man and Woman way before Loewe was available in the United States. Now you can find Loewe at Bergdorf Goodman. You could never find Loewe fragrances before that. So when I smelled like 001 Man, I was absolutely blown away. And he talked about that fragrance probably about 8 or 9 years ago. So it gives you an idea. We used to do, fragrance influencers used to talk about these brands, but Lately, not so much. I don't get why. It's kind of disappointing. It's kind of depressing. But hopefully, there'll be more eyes on videos about brands that we need to talk about, that we need to know about. And this is a start for me. So another brand that I'm gonna be discussing that you don't see a lot of information about, and I got a discovery set from them, Le Bain Gerbois. So Le Bain Gerbois 1885. This is a discovery set that I recently received. I also got a 10 ml of one of their options called Oud Laque, excuse me. I'm really excited to discuss this line, and I will be talking about them in a future video. But this is another brand that I'm really excited to discuss and talk about and experience that, again, you don't hear a lot of conversation about. So we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna do what we are going to be the change we want to see. I'm going to be the change that I want to see in this fragrance community, in this fragrance world. And I'm going to be talking about these brands that no one talks about. And I hope you are down for that. And I'm very grateful for all of you who've checked out this so far. In a town at your mall looking for the fragrances. I'm in town at your mall looking for the fragrances. Hidden gems. Come on now. Go downstairs. It's in the lower level. I'm upstairs right now, so I won't be able to help you at the moment, but who knows? Maybe I'll catch you when you're down there, because I'm definitely coming down in a few. So E, what's the way to jump over those algorithms to get known those hidden gems? In my opinion, so Jacob, thank you for that question. In my opinion, brother, the best way to kind of fix this is to watch more videos of brands that we don't hear about. So if you see somebody, if you see an influencer talking about a brand you've never heard of, click the video. Don't just focus your attention on the taglines and tag words of fragrances that you see and talk about or hear about all the time. So click on a video like this. The more clicks on videos like this, the more the algorithm will start to be a little bit more welcoming to videos like this and not hide them. So that's the basic answer to that question. The more you as the audience are interested in videos that are more of obscure lines, the more you are clicking on those videos, the more the algorithm will want to put those videos to the forefront. That's all that's needed. So the issue though is like popular brands are gonna be overwhelmingly focused on by these algorithms. But I gotta say, if more influencers were talking about these obscure brands, that would also shift the algorithm. Sometimes you have to kind of go for it. You have to take the hit for the long-term gain. So instant gratification is the #1 thing for fragrance influencers. After you release a video, you're constantly checking to see how the video is doing. And if the video doesn't do well, you're disincentivized to talk about those type of topics going further. So we have to shift that. And the way to shift that is you and I. So my goal is to focus on those lines to make sure that more people are talking about them. Your goal needs to be to click on those videos of fragrance lines that you don't know about and educate yourself. Put yourself on to these new fragrance lines. Reward the content creators that are talking about the things you need to know about, not the things you already know about. And that will also help to shift these algorithms towards what we want them as fragrance lovers to be. And that's the bottom line. Sometimes people look at fragrance, sometimes people look at the creator as the issue. It's really not the creator. The creator is basically just trying to do what they can to be successful. And that's what most people are doing in their profession or in their hobbies. They're trying to be successful at what they do, whatever it is. So it's hard to be successful when no one gets to see your effort. You know, that's just the fact. That's just the bottom line. So yeah, so thank you so much, Brown and Beachy Vlogs, for mentioning this. Brown and Beachy Vlog says the algorithm is ruled by consumer searches. Creators don't matter really. I agree and disagree because like I mentioned, if fragrance creators that are really popular talk about brands that are really unpopular, again, that will shift the algorithm. Because if you have a large audience, if Jeremy Fragrance at this point decided, you know what, I'm not going to talk about Baccarat Rouge, Fragrance One. I'm not going to talk about Aventus. Why? If he decided, you know what, I'm only going to focus my 3 million plus subscribers on fragrances that no one talks about and knows about, he is so influential based on the amount of people that watch his videos that one decision can also help to shift and shape those algorithms towards what we're discussing, which is fragrances we need to know about, not fragrances we already know about. So it is a situation where it's not just the algorithm, it's also the creator. The creator needs to basically take the chance. The creator has to basically say, you know what, I want to be an influencer. I want to influence. I want to talk about things that I love that no one knows about. And once more people make that decision, once more influencers that have a huge audience start to make those decisions, those choices, again, the algorithm will start to mold towards that content. So that's kind of also the part of it. Yeah, I do see what you're saying, Brown and Beachy Vlogs, but no, the creator does definitely matter. The more popular, the more views that creator gets, the more influential that creator is. And if that creator decides, you know what, I'm not going to use my influence for the good, that's the problem. That's also a problem. So it's not only the algorithm, it's also us creators as well. It's definitely a 50-50 thing. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I want to smell interesting. I want to smell unique. So if these popular influencers talk about fragrances that I don't know about, I'm going to want to check it out because I want to smell more interesting. I don't want to smell like everyone in the room. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, especially more and more people want to smell interesting, not common. So, and that's the whole basis of my channel. I want you to smell interesting, not nice. Smelling nice is boring. Smelling nice is for kids. I don't want to smell nice. That's whack. That's corny as hell to me, But everyone is different. So let's see if we can shift this around. In my opinion, the few of you who are here, do your thing. Take your part more seriously because you have a lot more influence than you think. Focus on those videos that are novel, and the algorithm will basically put more of those videos to our forefront. So that's basically my kind of opinion on this whole, fragrance influencer algorithm thing. I feel like honestly, we could do a whole lot better, the creative side, and we need to push that algorithm to do what we wanted to do and focus on what we wanted to focus on. We have a lot more power than we think. So I want to know, guys, what is your scent of the day? What have you all been wearing? What fragrances are making you happy? How you doing, Amy? Good to see you. What's going on, Jean-Luc? I really appreciate you for sharing that. I enjoy you enjoying my content. It's really, really awesome. I really appreciate you for saying that. Yeah. Hey, Rob, bro, I sent you a crap load of samples. Get back to me. Let me know which one you love, bro. Oh, boy. And yeah, just search them on Fragrantica. And yeah, let me show you what I'm talking about also with Fragrantica. This is crazy, guys. If you go on Fragrantica and you type Maison Detto, I'm gonna blow this. This is also part of it. If you clicked on Maison Detto, the top fragrance from Maison Detto in terms of sales, their #1 seller, is a fragrance called Durban Jane, which I'm so into. It's kind of like a skin scent, beautifully done, a little spicy with the pink pepper. Look at this though. The trend line is starting to pick up, right? But I want you to notice something. If you go down to reviews, look at the amount of people who've mentioned this fragrance. This fragrance came out in 2019, 5 years ago, right? Look at the reviews. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 reviews on their #1 selling fragrance, guys. That's insane to me. You know, that's insane to me. That should not happen. That should not happen. When a brand is that good, Maison Detto is awesome, guys. When a brand is that good, it shouldn't be that obscure. It makes a lot of sense to me if they were like, okay. But Maison Detto is an excellent brand. If I were to, let's say, rate the brand from a score of 1 to 10, the brand, in my opinion, is a 9. If I were to, the packaging is insane. The bottles look awesome. The fragrances are well made. The fragrances are well thought out, conceived. They have longevity without being overwhelming. The fragrances are excellent. The fact that no one is talking about them, even on a site that everyone talks about Perfume on, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So this is like the problem with a lot of these more obscure brands. Obscure brands, it's one thing for an obscure brand to be obscure, but it's another thing for an amazing brand to be obscure. That's weird because fragrance lovers seek out hidden gems. This brand, the entire brand of Maison Detto, is a hidden gem brand. Every scent in this collection is worth owning. The fact that no one knows that disappoints me. And so this conversation that we're having right today, I hope kind of influences more people to be more considerate of awesome brands that most people are not focusing their attention on. Yo, E, you're back. Where have you been? Yo, E, you're back. Where have you been? I know you took a break, but I haven't seen you online in ages. Well, that's because YouTube does the same thing. It hides me. I've been doing live videos for over a year now. Literally over a year now. And so if you were to go on my YouTube channel and click on, like if you were to literally click on Simply Put Scents and then go to my hub, you're gonna notice if you click on the live tab, you're gonna see a ton of videos that you probably didn't even know were there. So this goes to show you, man, like even someone like me who gives you great content that doesn't talk about the same old, that actually has like, you know, some valid opinions and takes about these fragrances that are worth considering and worth hearing, I'm hidden because I'm not talking about Baccarat Rouge every day, and I'm not talking about compliments every day, and I'm not giving you 10 fragrance considerations that you already heard 1,000 times in multiple videos over and over and over. I'm not talking about dupes. I hate dupes at this point. And I'm gonna do a video about dupes also, because man, I have a ton of opinions about dupes and how they're absolutely, in my opinion, hurting the fragrance industry. At this point, they're becoming way too focused on at this point. You know, it's okay to have a dupe or two, but when your collection is basically, when influencers are literally influencing you to just focus on dupes, having a collection of $50 dupes is not the thing, guys. It's not the move. It's not the wave at all, you know? Dupes are useful in certain cases. Like I don't mind, look, I know everyone doesn't have a ton of money to spend on fragrances they love, okay? I get it. But at the end of the day, we can, you know what? I'm gonna save that for another video. We're gonna get into that, guys. Yes, Rocks, I'm back, but I've been back, bro. I've been back. It's really, really annoying. Am I the Rob you sent samples to? That's probably it. You're probably not the Rob I'm thinking, but yeah. Rockin' Macanudo, go off. There is no spoon. You are the person. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but whoever you are, Rockin' Macanudo. Macanudo, guys, is a grass stain in a bottle. It is so dope. It is beautiful. You need to know about it. It's a grass stain. You know, so the whole idea of Maison Detto is like the founder of Maison Detto married her love of fragrance with with her love of horseback riding and horses. And so, in my opinion, if you're looking, Parfum de Marly is a bit. Their whole story is Parfum de Marly is a brand that's inspired by horses as well. But when you smell Parfum de Marly and you smell Maison Detto, one brand smells very niche. One brand smells, well, in comparison, one brand smells very niche. Another brand smells very commercial. And there's nothing wrong with being a commercial brand. I'm not knocking that. I just feel like if you want an authentic house that's celebrating horses in a way that's like, yeah, this is it. You know, Maison Detto has to be the focus. Parfum de Marly, not so much. If horse vibes is what you're going for. Now that's not to make you nervous, guys, because you're not going to smell like a steed when you're wearing Maison Detto, you know. But man, are their fragrances insane, and it's disappointing that we don't know about them. Anyway, the fact that you're rocking Macanudo, there is no spoon, man, are you on point? Man, are you ahead of the crowd? Man, are you smelling insane? Better than most people in the room you walk into. Uh, um, yes, Brown and Beachy vlogs. That's part of what I was going to discuss when we discuss those dupes and those influencers that are pushing dupes on you. I find honestly they're unsafe. I don't trust dupes. I don't trust dupes at all. To me, I don't know what's in those bottles. I don't know what's in that formula. I don't trust those formulas. At least I know when a fragrance is coming out by like a reputable brand, a brand that actually had their fragrances made by artists. You know, when a fragrance brand has their brand made by artists, I know for a fact that that artist is considering safety. I know that the company that makes those fragrances are considering safety. These dupe brands, they don't care how those fragrances affect your hormones. They don't care if they're carcinogenic, cancer causing. They don't care if the fragrance affects your allergies, give you headaches, you know, make your skin itch, irritate you in any way or form. They don't care. They're just trying to sell you a $50 fragrance that smells like a scent everyone smells and knows and owns. So, and also if you're wearing a dupe, and I say this all the time, if a fragrance is duped, it's already too popular for me to wear it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would wear a popular fragrance to do some errands, laundry, you know, something simple, basic, whatever. But honestly, guys, like I'm not focusing on a dupe. If a dupe is out, it's already too popular for me to have it. You know, it's already too popular for me to focus on it or prioritize it. That's just how I feel, you know. But yeah, we're going to get into that when we go into the dupe setup, when we get into dupes. Rocks and clones, man, I'm happy to see you. Yeah, my concern about clones is whether they're harmful ingredients. Can you imagine cancer causing ish? Exactly. Never spray dupes on your actual skin. Spray it on your clothes, spray it on a hat, spray it on a t-shirt. Even then, I'm like, I'll spray it on the shirt on top of my t-shirt. I just don't want I don't want those things on my skin. I just don't. And also, imagine you're an artist. I mean, well, I'm gonna get into that another time. Forget it. Imagine you're an artist. You make amazing art, right? And then some copycat comes and does your art and sells it for a fraction of what your art's worth. That's wrong. That's wrong. It's immoral, you know? It's immoral. And the flip side is people are gonna say, well, it's immoral that these fragrance brands charge us a ton for fragrances that aren't worth it. That's weird. That's like saying Mercedes is immoral for charging a lot of money for a car that could easily be a Hyundai and cost like a fraction of that cost. But you're not mad at Mercedes though. No one's mad at Mercedes for making expensive cars, even though it's essentially a car, and a car doesn't have to be expensive. But who's mad at Mercedes? Who's mad at Bentley for making money off of expensive cars? No one. So why are you guys, or why is anyone mad at Roja Parfum for making an expensive fragrance? Why is anyone mad at at Bodicea the Victorious for creating expensive fragrances, for Xerjoff for creating expensive fragrances. Some fragrances aren't for everyone. And you don't have to spend a ton of money to smell like you did. It's all about basically taking time out to do your research. And unfortunately, a lot of influencers are not helping us make those proper choices. But again, it's all about knowing who to focus on and who not to focus on. And thankfully, you all are on this channel. So you're focusing on someone that actually thinks about these things and is considerate about these things. So I would encourage you to keep focusing on channels like mine. But yeah, Rock's Clone, honestly, I've still been doing videos. I'm still on here. Go to my Simply Put Scent hub on YouTube. Just click Simply Put Scents. Oh, make sure you're also subscribed and you click the like button. I don't say that anymore, but at the end of the day, when you do, it helps. But yeah, bro, like, yeah, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I don't put dupes on my skin. Absolutely not. And I don't wear dupes anymore. I feel honestly, a lot of brands are duping other brands, and you don't have to wear a cheap dupe, to be honest. Just know what to focus on. And focus on influencers who are doing the work that needs to be done to make sure you smell amazing and not simple. Casual Fragrances, what's going on, my man? What's up? What's up, E? Yo, bro, Blue Talisman X and Halo is fire. Thank you for the sample first, and then I purchased it with your link from Bergdorf. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so glad that you love Blue Talisman. To me, it's one of the best summer fragrances released in a really, really long time. And so, yeah, I'm appreciating that you're appreciating it, my man. Good to see you, X. So, good to see you. Ew, click on the bell and icon, comment. Thank you so much, Brown and Beachy Vlogs. Great suggestion. Click the bell and the icon and comment, and you'll be notified whenever I do my lives, because I'm doing my lives regularly. I need to get back on the ball. Lately, I've been a little bit off and on. I'm trying to do lives every Thursday now, but I might also do them every Sunday also. So we'll see. I need to do my thing. And I also need to do more like recorded content. And, you know, I'm evolving, guys. So evolve with me, bear with me. Hopefully you'll appreciate and come through whenever you see my videos launching. Anyway, guys, I hope you're all blessed. I hope you're all having an amazing Sunday. Anytime you are in New York, please come to Bergdorf. Check me out. DM me on Instagram or TikTok. I'm on TikTok as a Layton of Bergdorf's. So yeah, like I would definitely suggest, and here, let me show you how that's spelled. But yeah, I would definitely suggest, you know, following people and following influencers that are making sure that they're influencing. Follow influencers who are influencing, not just the same old, same old. Let's see if this is visible. If you click on Scent Ambassador on YouTube, on TikTok, you'll see my videos there and you'll see my content on TikTok. I'm starting to do more, so definitely come through. And Instagram, if you need that, you could check me out here. And my Instagram is a Layton of Bergdorf's. There you go. Follow it. Subscribe to my YouTube. Check me out on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll make sure to share with you content you need to know about, not content you already know about, and let's keep it moving. Guys, I hope you're all having a blessed one. Have a lovely day, and I hope you're all doing your thing, all right? Take care. I'm that clone guy E, and this is Simply Put Scents, and I'm simply OUT. Peace.